What if Martin Luther King Jr. had lived? On April 4, 1968, Martin Luther King Jr. was assassinated in Memphis, Tennessee. But what if he hadn't been? What if Dr. King had lived on beyond that fateful day? Imagine a world where his voice continued to rise, not just for civil rights, but for economic justice, peace, and unity, because by 1968, King was already evolving beyond the civil rights movement. The Poor People's Campaign. He had just launched the Poor People's Campaign, a bold, multiracial effort to end poverty in America. Had he lived, this campaign might have become a national movement, demanding fair wages, affordable housing, and universal basic income. Issues we still grapple with today. With King's charisma and moral clarity, the war on poverty might have gained the same momentum as the Civil Rights Act. Imagine if poverty, not crime, had become the dominant focus of American domestic policy in the 70s and 80s. A political future. There's also this: what if King had entered politics? While he never sought office, a living king may have been urged to run, perhaps as a US senator, or even to help build a new third party rooted in justice, nonviolence, and economic reform. He could have been a unifying force among movements: civil rights, anti-war, labor, even environmental justice. The Rainbow Coalition might have formed a decade earlier, with King at its center. King was also a fierce critic of the Vietnam War. Had he lived, he would have likely continued to challenge US militarism and imperialism, shaping the peace movement from within the mainstream rather than as an outsider. Would America have exited Vietnam sooner? Would US foreign policy have shifted more humanely in the decades to come? A softer decline, a stronger voice. A softer decline, a stronger voice. Of course, not all would have welcomed his vision. By 1968, King's popularity had plummeted. He was seen by many as too radical, but time and truth often favor moral courage. If King had lived, the modern struggle for justice might look very different today. More united, more compassionate, more focused on systems, not just symptoms. What if Martin Luther King Jr. had lived? Maybe we'd be living in the future he dreamed of, not still dreaming about it. The arc of the moral universe is long, but it bends toward justice.